Welcome back, everybody. Former car czar Steve Rattner speaking out about Bailout General Motors in an interview on Reuters TV earlier this week.
Ironically, the real problems that GM are having today are the opposite of the problems that put them into bankruptcy in the first place. It's problems in Europe. Would it be nice if they sold a few more Volts? Sure, but the Volt is irrelevant to the profit-loss line of General Motors. Would I like them to have a few more cutting-edge products? Yeah. But is this company or the industry going back to the days of crazy incentives and bloated inventories on dealers' lots? No.
Critics, however, saying that some of the details from that interview need some fundamental fact-checking.
So here to weigh in is the president of Lesser Government, Seton Motley. Seton, nice to see you this morning.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
So what's wrong with Mr. Rattner's statements there, that the problems in Europe largely to blame for struggling GM? What do you say to that?
Where to begin? First of all, as far as Europe is concerned, GM Opel, which is the European brand of GM, has been terrible since at least 2000, if not sooner. Additionally, they had a European buyer lined up in 2009 to get them out from under GM Opel, GM Europe, and the Obama-appointed board of directors for GM scotched the deal. So for Rattner to now say, oh, we have this problem with Europe, they had an out for Europe in 2009, and Rattner and Obama killed it.
Yeah.
Secondly, real quick, as far as pre-existing conditions, the main problem old GM had was their union contracts. The good news about a bankruptcy through which GM went in 2009 is you break all your contracts. Not in this instance. Obama eviscerated bankruptcy law and maintained the United Auto Workers contracts through the bankruptcy. So the thing that was killing old GM is still killing new GM. All these new problems that Steve Rattner points to are the same problems they had before they went through the bankruptcy and the bailout.
The other thing he addressed there was bloated inventory and ridiculous incentives that he said were hurting them then. Are they hurting them now? Chrysler, we should mention, is doing very, very well. So maybe there is something those two organizations are doing very differently. But is that still a problem?
Well, look, GM, he talked about the Volt being not part of the profit-loss problem for GM. That's because they've outsourced all the loss to us. All the loss, all the subsidies, all the bailout money is on, and the incentives for green energy and green cars is on the taxpayers' dime, not on GM's. We have $5 billion in incentives to green cars, not just to the Volt, but all green cars. But beyond that, we've got $7,500 checks cut to people who buy Volts, by the taxpayers, not by GM. You want to talk about incentives and crazy incentives? The GM was offering $150,000 off of next year's products in exchange for selling. They'd set a ridiculously low number of Volts to sell, and then say, if you triple this ridiculously low number, we'll give you $150,000 off next year's purchases. Of course, this is an election year. Next year's not. So you had leases as low for the Volt. Leases as low as $0 down, $159 a month for an $89,000 car.
Wow.
So if that's not a crazy incentive, look, I'm not a car dealer, but that sounds to me a little low for an $89,000.
Yeah, without those kind of incentives, it almost washes out. Seton Motley telling us some of the same fundamentals are in place that got us into this mess in the first place. Great to see you this morning. Thanks.